I'm curious to get your take. Again, obviously, we all know what happened with the Will Muschamp era coming to an end this year, and Shane Beamer getting hired as head football coach. Obviously, we're in 2021. He'll be going in his first season this fall. But obviously, Shane was a guy that came, obviously well after you at Carolina and everything.
Right.
But he was very much a popular choice amongst the alumni, former players, some Gamecock legends. I mean, guys that played during the best run ever in school history. But I want to hear from your vantage point, just your thoughts overall on where South Carolina football is right now and the decision to hire Coach Beamer.
All right. So how I was able to get it to break down the Coach Beamer hire, I couldn't pinpoint it and say, okay, he's an offensive guy. I couldn't say, okay, he's a defensive guy. What Carolina needed is exactly if they have, and all your fans and listeners and college football understand the hire. I understand the hire as he is stepping in to manage this football team. He's going to be able to wear head coach, GM, president. He's not offense. He's not defense. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And Carolina needed this after Spurrier. They went in and got Muschamp because his reputation of being a disciplined type guy. And I tell people all the time, that's a good thing when you have problems. When you win him, you're gonna have problems. The guys are gonna get money. They're leaving school early. It's a good thing overall for the winning aspect of it. You can't go in and try to crush that and say, hey, let's tone them down a little bit. You just can't do that. You got to be able to have somebody like a Beamer now that's not offense, that's not defense. He is a general manager. Go get him a offensive guy. Is pressure's on you. You got to do your job. Defensive guy, you got to do your job. And I'm going to make sure that y'all both are held to the T. I'm not one way offensive minded, one way defensive minded, all special team. No. We got 3 head coaches, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special team guy. We got 3 like-minded head coaches with a guy that's over saying, I'm making sure you do your job, and your job. And I get to recruit kids to fit what you do. You get it? So I see that hire as being a general manager, a young guy who will develop as could be offense, could be defense, or could just be a great manager of guys. The Harbaugh brothers, just those type of coaches that come from the special teams. Special team coaches do very well as head coaches because they are great managers, because they have to touch a little bit of the O-line, D-line, because every facet of the game they have to touch. They touch running backs, they touch receivers, DB. They're the only coach that has a relationship with everybody on the team outside the head coach. So that Beamer hire made me realize, okay, I see the direction. I see the direction. Right now, I get it. They may not have the money, they may not have everything that they need, but I see the direction, And now if he could just bring in guys and, really focus on the recruiting and really focus on getting the best players in the state of South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, tying yourself up. You know what? If you may not be able to get this guy, that guy, or this coach, that coach, but guess what? Stack up what you need. Stack up guys that are gonna bleed black and garnet and recruit their butts off and get kids in here. That's how I see this hire being. Maybe we're all going to be looking back and wondering and see how it plays out. But that's really my mindset of how I saw this hire happening. If Muschamp would have been able to put him a real offensive minded guy and really gave something a little bit more of a defense, it could have been a little different or really focus on that. Who knows? But I see the Beamer hire as being really more of a general manager outlook. That in time will, like a Saban, always going to be able to be controlling the team. You see offensive coordinators come and go. You see defensive coordinators come and go because they winning. So hopefully that's how it looks at Carolina.
And as we sit here first week of January, obviously, we still don't know who the other 3 assistant coaches are. And the big one being the defensive coordinator, wide receivers coach, and then Like we were talking about, defensive backs coach is most likely going to be that other one. You don't have to say anything. If there's been conversations off the record, we can keep them as such. But I mean, it sounds like you'd definitely be interested in a return to Columbia if that opportunity was presented to you. I mean, just can you shed any light on that? Again, I know your name definitely, I saw it a couple of weeks ago, has been one that's like, been rumored or floated around. Has South Carolina contacted him? Could this be a possibility? I mean, do you have any, I guess, insight on that or anything you can speak to in regards to that?
I could definitely tell you that I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely interested, and I did send my resume over, and I'm definitely interested. I've had some calls from other schools concerning because of my connection with a lot of the Florida kids down. And, at what capacity, at what role, is it safety, the DB coaches? I know sometimes a lot of guys split the room. I know there some teams will have analyst positions open. I'm definitely in that mindset because I just, I want to learn. I want to keep continuing to grow. I'm at an age now where my kid's a little bit older, and I'm definitely intrigued and anything I can do to help my alma mater, help my school at whatever level. Some guys may be way more qualified than me. I mean, you know how that game goes. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's hard for a lot of the NFL guys that want to continue doing this and at a high level. But at the same time, like I said, I mean, my mind and my heart is the Garnet and Black and it's Carolina all day long. And if there's anything that Coach Beamer would like for me to do concerning these Florida recruits or just in any capacity, I would love to have that conversation.